Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I am here to explain you how to work on this little aid that I put up for you called a proposed calendar. How to finish your design summative in 10 days or even less depending on how you work. There's an old riddle saying, how do you eat an elephant? And the answer is usually bite by bite. To help you understand how to schedule your work, please take a look at the proposed calendar. By propose, what I mean is it's a suggested calendar that could help you get organized, and this way you can finish and hand it on time, which will give me enough time and space to give you feedback, and I hope you find it useful. Now, what I did was I divided the task for the original summative task into 10 days of work, which you can, of course, spread out to whatever needs, accommodate it to whatever needs you have, because I know that you have a large amount of work to get through. So instead of giving you the whole summative and with leaving it up to you to figure out what to do, I took the liberty of dividing the summative task into 10 days of work approximately. Of course, you adjust it to your needs, but it's here. And if you follow the steps by the end of the document, if you do little by little, as I'm suggesting, you will have finished it in 10 days and you could submit it for feedback. For day one, what I'm asking, for each of the following items, you may go back to your original ideas for your school, the work you started and presented with your summative on December, first semester, which was very good, by the way. You should combine them with the knowledge you have acquired through the school year. And the item that you're going to work with is, aside from finding and getting a hold of your work that you did for December, which is, if you don't have it readily available, it's in Canvas, on your Canvas page, under the summative for December. You go in, you download it, and it's there. You create a name and a logo or shield for your school. All schools have shields and logos. You have to create one for the school that you work. For day number 2, what you need to work on today, you identify a mission for your school. What will be the main problem that you want your school to solve? Everything has to be a problem that needs to be solved. So when you came up with your concept for your school, what are you doing? What problem are you solving? And you dedicate that day to answering that question, and then you put it up. For days 3 and 4, we're going to be working on the look, or you're going to be working on the look of your school, buildings, facilities, etc. This can be done via a digital model or a physical model. You use whatever way works best for you. Of course, if you already did this, go ahead and just polish the original product and create a final design. And I give you a step-by-step on how to develop the model. First, you begin by doing the concept sketch, because you always begin with sketches. That's your evidence. That's what tells the world that you produce what you are working with. Once you find a sketch that you're happy with, look and feel for your school, then use either one of the following of these or a combination of them. You can do either a digital model using software like Minecraft, Paint 3D, Tinkercad, or any other design software that you're comfortable with. Even Lego Designer works very well. I think it's free, I'm not sure, but I think it's still out there. Or you can do a physical model. In Spanish, we call it maqueta. It's a model. It's a physical model like what architects use. Or you can even do a paper drawing. You can draw it on paper, which is, of course, to be acceptable, it has to be drawn as polished as you can make it. It has to be a piece of art that's to the best quality that you can do. I am not asking you to become an artist. All I'm asking is that you give me quality to the work that you do. And again, in the end, you can use whatever tool, whatever way works best for you. So going back to the exercise, for days 5 and 6, what I'm suggesting you do, is that you choose any 4 of the following questions about the school that you're designing and answer them fully, justifying your answers and always using examples. Now, these are the questions that will be part of They define the parts or the components of your school. I originally intended the exercise to be done in teams during my class, but that's no longer a possibility. So since you're no longer with a partner, what I am doing to compensate is I am giving you your choice. You're going to select 4 out of these 8 questions, and these will be the essence of your school. My policy has always been to compensate with extra credit when people do more than what they're doing. So if that's what you do and you decide to answer more than 4, you are more than welcome to do it, and I will reward you. However, you have a minimum of 4 questions. And the questions are here. Is it a public or private school? What subjects are you going to teach? What is the school's idea of discipline? How do you plan to enforce discipline in your students? What grades are taught? What is the cost of 1 year of studying in your school for each child? How many students are you planning to have in your school? How many students per teacher do you have in your school? That's called the student-to-teacher ratio. In one example, a typical number is 5 to 8 students per teacher. Every school, usually in the school's website, you will find the student-to-teacher ratio. How does your school deal with the children that have special needs? Again, select 4 out of these questions, and those are the ones that you answer. Now we move on to days 7 and 8, and here you have, today you're ready to start working on your presentation. Now we'll move to the actual report. You're going to choose if you're going to report on PowerPoint or Sway or any other software that you're comfortable with. But always remember, you always include only 1 item per slide, meaning if you're going to talk about the name and logo, you present it, you explain why you choose it, that's 1 slide. If you're going to talk about the mission for your school, you present it, and that's 1 slide. The items that you chose and answered from the ones that were here, again, 1 per slide, etc. I'm also asking you to explain why is your school the best possible choice for the parents and students that you're aiming to recruit. That's another slide, etc. On that, I gave you about 2 days. I estimated about 2 days. If you do it in less, that's fine. For days 9 and 10, and this is the last part, you include in your presentation the images or photos of any concept drawings, plans, or prototypes, the little model of your school. We need top views, side views, and every other view you can think of. Please use large photos and 1 per slide. The reason why I say this is we're sometimes tempted to include a little image, and that will not do. When you do something like this, a presentation, you want the photo to take up the entire slide, and you want it to be clear and accurate. If what you're doing is a drawing, remember to highlight it with a Sharpie. Do not leave it on pencil, because pencil drawings do not show well when you take photos of them. And treat us to your work. You should be proud when you show it, okay? Finally, you add at the end of the presentation an explanation of how your school could be improved. Which is done after you finish, because that's where you go like, okay, maybe I could have done so and so. And you're going to explain the impact the school will have on your staff, meaning the people that work with you, and as the world in general. How is your work, how is your school going to work? How is it going to impact the students? How is it going to impact the parents? What change do you want to bring about in the world around you? That's what you should be aiming for. And once you are ready, double check it a couple of times and submit it through Canvas, and you're done. And that's your summative. If I receive it on time, earlier than the deadline stipulated, I will go over it and I will give you feedback. If I notice that something needs work, I will give you an option to resubmit after pointing out what I thought about it, to increase the chances of you passing the summative successfully. And that's it. So I hope this has been helpful to you. Keep in touch. Remember, I will be around in Teams all day answering your questions, and we will talk again. God bless you. Have a great day. Stay inside. I miss you. I miss you a lot. I love you a lot. And I can't wait to be back in school where we should all be right now. God bless. Have a good day.